We all saw the video of Blake Anderson getting beat by Los Angeles County sheriffs. And when that video came out, Sheriff Villanueva, instead of coming out and strongly condemning the actions of his officers, he tried to demonize Blake Anderson. And in doing so, he told some untruths. One, he said that Blake wasn't working. And two, he said that his injuries were minor. Well, here's what I had to say about that at Friday's press conference.
We want to set some facts straight, too. Because we know that Sheriff Villanueva, who's facing a re-election, has come out and made some statements. And he's made statements recklessly and with no basis in fact. In fact, Blake Anderson was employed that evening. He was working at the Good Batch Hookah Lounge as security. You can hear other individuals in that video saying he's working mall security. And he was working peacefully. We have a sheriff who has allowed donors to get concealed weapons in Los Angeles because they donated to his campaign without question. And we have a sheriff who says we need more concealed weapons. We want more people out there who are good people with a gun. Well, that evening, Blake Anderson was the good guy with the gun. He was the good guy with the gun. He was working security. He was hired to protect that business establishment at 1 o'clock in the morning on that Saturday night. And instead of the sheriff deputies coming up and ascertaining the situation, de-escalating anything that was going to go down by asking questions, which Blake would have answered honestly, we saw what they did. They attacked him while he was at work. You can see on the video, and Blake has confirmed, no commands were given to him. He was never given an opportunity to comply with commands. Instead, what you see is that they slam him up against the wall, repeatedly punch him, and he's informing them, I work here. Why are you doing this to me? And they continue when they bring him down to the ground, and everyone has seen that critical moment when Blake is under control of the sheriffs, and they hold a gun to his head. In a reckless moment where if that gun got off, we'd be here just with his family and not with Blake sitting beside us. And thank God that he's beside us and can tell his story and what happened here that evening. And that wasn't enough. After that, they slammed his head into the ground. Sheriff Villanueva has described his injuries as quote-unquote minor injuries. There is nothing minor about taking out someone's eye. Yes, it is true that Blake Anderson was a crime victim earlier this year and had a situation with his eye for which he was seeing an eye specialist. And in seeing that eye specialist, they were working with him to restore vision to that eye. And he had a surgical procedure scheduled. But when Blake went back to that eye specialist after this incident, he's been informed, we're not going to be having surgery to save that eye. We're going to be having surgery to put a prosthetic eye in that, and he has lost his eye and his sight in his right eye for the rest of his life. That's not the only impact. When you hit someone like that in the head, when you slam their ground, you have a traumatic brain injury. The symptoms that Blake has reported to me indicate this is someone who's going to suffer from those symptoms for the rest of his life. His brain will never be the same from that vicious attack.